Hi everyone, my name is Mike and welcome to the Mike Show. And today we're very happy to have our special guest, Paul Lamatt, also known as Milner from American Graffiti. Hi Paul.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome, welcome. We're very happy to have you come here.
I'm glad to be here.
So how's everything going today? Are you having a good day?
I'm having a good day. I've been visiting some friends of mine. They have a little ranch out east toward Palm Springs.
Was it windy out there like it is over here today?
No,
really?
It wasn't windy. It was a little windy, but you know they've got dogs and animal and water and fish, and so we hang out and we talk about politics and movies. And last night we were watching Sherlock Holmes. It was a good. We didn't watch it all. We watched. Have you seen Sherlock Holmes?
Was that the recent version of that, or
with
yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.?
Robert Downey Jr.
Jude Law. It's good. It was funny. I'll tell you something. If you came to me and said, "Okay, we're going to make Sherlock Holmes, and here's a list of actors that will play Sherlock Holmes,"
right?
And me being a fan of Sherlock Holmes mysteries, Arthur Conan Doyle's books and stories, I would put Robert Downey Jr. at the bottom of the list for playing Sherlock. I'd say, no way he can play Sherlock Holmes. We need a kind of tall, austere, cold guy, and you know, with this
6 feet at least, right?
Yeah, smoking a pipe, and Robert Downey Jr. But he's doing a good job. I only saw half of it. So.
He's been in a lot of new films here.
Yeah, don't rub it in. I got a new film too, but it's being released overseas on DVD.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to get into that. We should talk about American Graffiti.
Yeah,
it's your show, but I'm just saying.
I was just going to bring that up.
People, I think, have tuned in because of American Graffiti.
Absolutely, they love that film, and of course, that was actually filmed in 1972, though. Actually, wasn't it? And then released in '73.
Yes, that's right. A few years ago. And I lost some hair and it's a little gray and. I lost some muscles, but, you know, I'm still hanging in.
A lot of people ask you about that film.
Oh, I do all these car shows and make appearances at car shows around the country and even in Europe. And they ask me about that movie. They love that movie. They love me in it. Thank God. It was a blessing for me to get that part. It was a great part. And they want to know, was it fun making the movie? Where's the car? They think I own the car. They say, you know, how'd you like working with the other people, which I really did. We had a good time working on that movie. Most films are not as fun as that, and most films are not as pleasant. Sometimes you don't get along with the cast, and you have arguments. It's like, you know, life. But that one we all got along. And George Lucas gave us freedom to play our scenes the way we felt it. At first he would say, like the first take, he would say, "You go ahead, just play it the way how you feel it." Then if he didn't like the way it was going, he being the director, he would come up to you and say, "Well, can you do it a little bit this way, a little bit that way?" And you know, he just told me to act tough and cool, and to think about the fact that the years of being the fastest driver, having the fastest car, were passing, and so I had to be a little concerned. My character had to be a little concerned that the time might be coming soon where I'd have to move on to something else and lose all that special glory and position that John Milner had at that moment. And so I had that as an underlying feeling and thinking and theme while I was playing all the other scenes, that, you know, this might be the end of it for me. And that's why I don't want to race this other guy. There's some guy comes into town in a black car, you know about it.
Yeah, some guy.
And his name is Falfa.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of concerned. You know, George Lucas didn't want me to show it too much, but, you know, what if the guy beats me? You know, he might beat me. And even, we won't tell people how the movie ends, but there's a big race at the end. So I finally relent and agree to race the punk.
And, of course, everybody asks you, who won the race?
No, I ask them. That's what I do at the car shows. If they say they've seen the movie, you know, some people have seen a movie many, many, many times. Car fans, American Graffiti fans. And I say, "Oh yeah, who won the race?" I'm just checking with them. And we won't answer that question because there might be some viewers to the Mike Show that haven't seen American Graffiti. There are a few out there, I've discovered, in America.
Sometimes I hear that when you're talking to them, and the young kids particularly.
Yeah, you've been at shows with me, and they haven't seen it, and I say, well, you have to see it, and they go, I will, I will, I will.
But was it a big cast in making the film, or was just a pretty? I mean, not excuse me. I say cast. I mean the crew. Was it a big crew working with the cast?
No,
Or?
they had a very low budget, and we didn't have much time either. They had enough of a crew and a cast. The cast was unknown, and the crew were experienced, so we didn't have too many problems. One time I did drive over the
sound
camera assistant. That was an accident. He fell in front of the coupe. You know, a lot of times I drove the car. That's what people ask me, did I drive the coupe? But yeah, I drove it most of the movie, and sometimes they towed it. And this time I think they were towing it, but I'm not sure. But the cameraman, and they have a pickup truck ahead where the crew would be in George Lucas. And, well, you know, I'm acting, doing a scene with Mackenzie Phillips or something, and next thing you know, this guy tripped and fell. I think he fell off the pickup at the end of the pickup onto the ground, and I drove right over his leg.
My.
But he was okay, you know.
Any other things happen behind the scenes that anybody get hurt or anything? Or?
No, not that I know of. We were really blessed. We didn't have any injuries. I got sick one night from the food. I have an food allergy, and I had to go to the emergency room, get some steroids and adrenaline. But then I didn't work the next day. And as a matter of fact, that picture behind us, if they can see it, yeah, they can. That was taken the day I came back to work. If you notice, I look a little tired in it because I've been sick. And when we took it, when we did that scene, I was lucky because that's a scene in the gas station where I could be a little weary,
right.
and contemplative, and just I didn't have to have a lot of energy. I've done some movies where you had to have a lot of energy. I remember one scene in The Burning Bed, which I shouldn't mention because then all the women are going to turn off the show. But
kids, watch out.
No. I had this scene where it's a honeymoon. Well, we got married. Get married to Farrah Fawcett, and the director wanted me to have all this energy and drive up to the house. We're gonna have our honeymoon. Get out of the car and jump around and be all excited, and then scoop her up in your arms and run across the threshold. And you know that's okay, one take. But then we had to do it more than once. But I had to act like I had a lot of energy, clap my hands and stuff. And Farrah was great because she was a very athletic girl. She played tennis a lot, and she didn't weigh that much, and so she would help me after a couple of takes. She'd jump into my arms, like you can see it in the film. I think the one that they used where she jumps into my arms, which helped me from having to pick her up. But most movies you have to have energy, and it's it doesn't necessarily come across in the film on camera, but you do get tired.
You and Farrah Fawcett were good friends.
Yeah, we were pretty close, and I was very sorry about her passing and her being sick, and I hadn't seen her in a while. That was a drag, but she was a beautiful person.
When's the last time you saw her?
Before that, I think Suzanne and I was married. My
Suzanne Summers? Oh, yes, the other Suzanne.
No, my Suzanne was my wife at the time, and we hung out with Farrah and Ryan O'Neal. Went to dinner. One time we went on vacation to the Northeast to Martha's Vineyard, and they were a great couple. And Farrah was a sweet person and a dedicated person. And I mean, you know, that's what you need. You've filmed you've made some low budget movies yourself, and you have to work with actors and actresses.
Oh yes, I'm used to that.
That you want them to be energetic and enthusiastic, right?
Absolutely.
Without that, if you're just sitting around going, yeah, what's the next? When's lunch? What's the next?
Take 200,
scene?
right?
Dude, you don't need that.
Yeah, you gotta have the energy.
That can come across on the camera.
Very essential to a good scene.
And I've done some movies where I wasn't that inspired, and I hate to admit it, but I don't think my performance was very good and I was sick. I was sick in the 80s, but I got through them. But it's better. Like now, I'm healthy. In this last movie I made, Cyborg Conquest.
Cyborg Conquest. Formerly.
Oh yeah,
Chrome Angels.
Chrome Angels,
Yes.
because it's about a gang of motorcycle women, and that's the name of the club, Chrome Angels. But they changed the title because there are robots in it, and the cyborgs, as I understand, are the big robots.
Were you actually a cyborg in that film?
No, I was the boss, the creator, the leader. I sat in my laboratory and pushed buttons on the computer and sent my guys out dressed as human beings, try to take over. First the city, then the county, and later the whole world I want to take over. A bad guy.
You were the bad guy.
But that's available on, there's a distribution company, etaicd.com. ETHAICD.com. It's on DVD. It's exciting. It's an action movie.
And-
Michael wrote a book.
And so did Paul.
That's true.
And your book's on there too.
Is it? Well,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, our books are on Amazon Kindle. Well, his is on Amazon. Mine is the ebook. So you have to either have a Kindle, which is a little electronic device where you can read books off of it. It looks like kind of the front of a book, and you just
Right, right. And not only that, but with Kindle books, a lot of people think they have to have the Kindle book reader or some other reader, but actually you can download it right to your computer with the
That's
free
right.
software that they offer to
There's
you.
software, so you can read it off your computer.
So you can actually just go there and
And your book is about, that's right, and mine is cheap. I don't know if yours is.
oh, mine is
expensive.
cheap too.
Okay.
I didn't raise it too high.
So they just go to Amazon Kindle or Amazon.com.
And the name of your book is called
The Revealing.
No.
Oh, that's your book.
Yes.
Mine is called Debbie Loves Me, but Barbara.
He's kidding, folks.
Oh no, that's my next book.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, I have two books. One's about a boxer because I used to box in the '70s, and I wrote it. You know, they say write about what you know about, so I wrote
Right.
about boxing and describe what fights are like in the ring and working at this small at a job and training and falling in love and getting my heart broken and then falling in love with this singer. There's this beautiful singer in the book. I made it up, but it's based on some experiences I had. So that's called Hasten Down the Wind,
Hasten Down the Wind.
which is a Linda Ronstadt song from the 70s. Really beautiful song, and I thought it was appropriate for the story. And she, what was I going to say? The Linda Ronstadt is not a character in the story per se, but this character that I wrote,
Right.
the boxer, he drives around a '57 Chevy, a red '57 Chevy, and he is dreaming and listening to music, and you know how the '70s were, and the '80s too,
Yes.
with Madonna and what's that group? The singer was Rindy Ross. Anyway, I love her music too, and not Diana Ross, but I love her music too.
Yes, I do
Also,
too.
but he's listening to music and dreaming about the life he wants, and so he listens to Linda Ronstadt. And of course, he loves the sound of her voice, and but he can't. How's he going to meet her? So, but he does go see a singer, and he starts to fall in love with her, and then he tracks her down and sends her a poem, and lo and behold, she responds because she likes his poem, and then he gets to meet her. But I won't tell too much more.
Yeah, you don't want to give it all
I don't
away.
want to give it all away, but they do
But it's
get
really
together,
good.
and
Yeah.
there's a little sex in the book too. So.
Well, I mean, I think everything has a little bit of that these days. So now,
Except American Graffiti.
both
Oh,
of
no.
are both of your books
Oh, I have
online? Or
I
just
have
one?
another book too called Araceli and Other Stories, which is a crime mystery novel, short one. It has the Araceli is this short mystery novel and murder mystery, and then there's 10 short stories in the same book
Right.
that are short stories I wrote about different subjects, and so they can get that as one book.
And that's also on Kindle books then?
Yeah, Amazon has things for sale too. I don't know if they have these, but they've got.
Hot Rods Across America.
Do they?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we made those DVDs. But there's also movies that I've been in. American Graffiti.
Aloha, Bobby and Rose also.
Yeah, you
American
can get down
Graffiti.
there. Yeah.
Gosh.
Melvin and Howard.
Melvin and Howard, another great film.
But don't mention the bad ones. No, they're not all bad.
Easy Wheelers.
Oh,
Easy
I told
Wheels.
you not to. You're in trouble.
Then
man.
there's,
When this show is over, you're in trouble.
you know, The Burning Bed was, you got a Golden Globe for that one.
I did. I played it so bad, and I joked with the paparazzi, the news people afterwards. They were asking me about how'd you play that part because the character was so mean and nasty and evil. And I said, "Oh, I just playing myself." And I wish you'd have been there because you laughed. But
Yeah,
some
they were
of them,
serious,
they were
yeah.
laughing. They were going, let's write this down.
Yeah.
He's playing himself. And I said, sometimes my humor is a little, I don't know, dry, and so people don't get my jokes. But thank God for you, you get my humor.
Yeah, I know I do get your humor. By the way, going back to American Graffiti for a second
Yeah.
here. You were in a pretty hairy fight with a couple of guys, and a lot of people ask you about that fight. You know, did the guy really get hurt, or was it just, you know, just a pure act? I mean, a lot of people ask you, you know, a lot of things about that fight.
Yeah,
What kind of things do they ask you?
We staged that. We rehearsed it. We pretty much knew what we were.
Was it
gonna
written,
do.
or did you ad lib that, or?
It was in the script.
It was in the script.
That's where I'm supposed to be saving, as Milner, I'm saving Charlie Martin Smith, who plays Terry the Toad, saving him from these two tough guys that are roughing him up.
Right,
And
right.
you know, he's my friend. I gotta help him. And so fortunately, it turned out all right. But no, nobody got hurt that I know of. But both of those actors were pretty tough guys, so they probably wouldn't say anything. You know, if I hit them too hard. But you know, I don't hit that hard anymore. I hurt my hands in my last fight, and so I can't hit as hard as I used to. See?
Yeah, he still got it, everyone. He still got the punch. By the way, speaking of punch, a lot of people may not know this, but you were actually a boxer one time.
That's what I was just saying.
Yeah,
When
but
I hurt
I mean,
my hands.
you were a
in my
welterweight
last fight.
champion.
Yeah, welterweight. Oh yeah, I won a couple amateur titles. I was pretty good, and also fought as a junior middleweight, but I didn't do as well there. When you go up in weight, you got to fight bigger guys. But yeah, I loved it, and I wanted to keep doing it. But like I said, in this one fight with this guy Carlos Lopez, and I knocked him down twice, but it hurt my hands, and they never got. Never were the same again.
So that's when you kind of separated from that?
Yeah, well, I kept fighting. I had a few more fights after that, and I started losing, and I realized since I couldn't hit as hard, that's an important part of it.
How many years did you do that for?
Oh, it was only 2 years.
2 years.
A year and a half, 2 years. I was going to turn pro, but then George Lucas came along, and Floyd Mutrux, who directed Aloha, Bobby and Rose, and Jonathan Demme with the Citizens Band, also known as Handle with Care. That's a fun movie, and he put me in Melvin and Howard. So, you know, I just strayed away from it and became an actor and a writer. I always wanted to write. So, in fact, I'm talking too much because you gave me a lot of coffee. I'll shut up after a minute. In fact, I've written 4 books now.
And a play, I recall.
That's right.
That's
play.
right.
But I only have 2 books up on ebooks.
So there's more coming then.
Yeah, I'm going to put them in next month, I think. One of
Okay.
them is not quite finished. I'm going to keep writing. That's about actors
Yes.
and acting. Those 2 books, because I thought I'd have to, you know, write one about an actor trying to make
Right.
it, young actor trying to make it in Hollywood. That'll be up on the site next month. And the second one is about a semi-retired actor
Oh, really?
who's got.
Anybody I know?
Yeah, and he's got the early Social Security, and he can't get an acting job, and he had a hit movie in the past, and then he gets involved with this murder mystery because
Oh,
there's a
interesting.
movie star that
That's very
gets
interesting.
murdered in Hollywood that he used to know, and then the police can't figure out who did it, and he thinks he knows who did it, so he starts investigating on his own. Which is dangerous, to try to find out who to pin the blame on.
Very interesting.
So, but that'll be up.
Oh, we look forward to
Next month,
to seeing that come out. Yes.
I'll help you.
When can we possibly expect to see that?
Oh, about a month.
Okay, very good. Very
About
good.
a month. I got to put a few finishing touches on it. It's not up on the Amazon site, but just the first 2 books are up.
Now you worked alongside of Cindy Williams, who played Laurie Henderson,
Yeah.
and Ron Howard.
Yeah, right.
And how was it working with them?
Great. They were very professional. You know, we were all young, and most of us hadn't done much. I had never done a big movie, or even a regular movie. I'd done some stuff in New York theater, but in a short film, which I can't find, but it doesn't. It's out there somewhere. But they had more experience than I did. Ron Howard, of course, had been on the Andy Griffith Show, and Cindy Williams had done some small roles. Richard Dreyfuss had done some small roles, but we were all kind of new and fresh and virginal. Like we had high hopes and dreams, and we were trying to do the best job we could. George Lucas was just starting out really himself. He'd only had one feature film before that, THX 1138, which he put on the
The famous
138
THX 138
on the license plate.
Right.
Now, speaking of that, didn't you? You did. I saw it. You had a copy, a real car.
I built a real car just like that.
A 32 Deuce Coupe.
Yes, same exact everything.
Yeah, I saw it. You took me. We went to a restaurant and I
Yeah,
sat
we had a
outside,
good time.
took pictures
Yeah.
pictures with it. And you built it yourself.
I built it right here, close to the studio.
Is that hard?
Well, I thought it was going to be, but I just got through it all.
Oh, good. Because I talked to people at car shows.
Actually, it was this very model that I built the car from. I modeled it right after this model here. So
you just made everything bigger.
I just made everything bigger. So it's kind of a special little car, actually.
Yeah, good for you. Well, and it had to be yellow.
Yeah. Now, have you? Wait a minute. Let's go back a little bit. We actually ran into Ron Howard not too long ago.
We did. We saw Ron Howard at a screening. You were there. I was with Amanda. She's beautiful and sweet. And you were there with your wife. And we were outside after the screening, was it? Where we saw Ron Howard, or in the intermission? Well, anyway, I saw him. Said hello to him. He said, "Hey, Paul, how you doing? You're looking good, Paul." I said, "Well, fine. And can you put me in one of your movies?" He said, "Oh, yeah, I will. So,
Right.
So we'll see. I'm still waiting, but...
Ron, if you're out there...
yeah, if you're watching, Ron.
George might be watching. You
think
never know.
George Lucas,
George Lucas is everywhere.
He's got $4 billion. I don't think he'd be watching this.
Well, he's got a lot of TVs. He can hang out, watch a movie or two and pick up on internet specials.
That's right.
You never know.
Keep positive. I pray to the Lord every day. I keep the faith.
Very good.
If he wants me to have a good acting job, he'll get me one. I'm doing everything I can, exercising and calling my agent and waiting and...
Now, Cyborg Conquest originally was called Chrome Angels. Yeah. And you were waiting for the release, actually about, around a year ago?
Yeah, we finished. It's almost a year and a half now, but I think the production company, because the economy took a nosedive last year.
That affected it big time.
They stopped producing movies and releasing them. So they sold it to this distribution company in Thailand, I guess it is, eThaiCD.com.
Well, it's obviously in Thailand, right?
And it's in English. Michael asked me, he said,
yeah.
Called me up and said, "Well, wait a minute, now if I order one of these movies, is it going to be in English?" I said, "Yes, it's in English."
Because I don't understand Thai.
You could learn it.
I can learn it if I watched it enough.
So I ordered one, and you ordered one, and
we're still waiting for it.
It's an action
movie. You didn't get yours yet, did you?
No, it takes a while.
It does. What about, summer's approaching here. I understand Rick, who has the coupe, you guys are going to be on the road again soon?
Yeah, Rick Figueri owns the yellow car.
The original car from the film.
The one and only. And he won't sell it. And
still
he takes it on the road sometimes. And he's got a job in San Francisco, but he's blocked off this summer. I think it's August and September, or part of September.
Right.
And we're going to go on the road again like we did before and go to car shows all across the country.
All right.
And they can see the coupe, because when the coupe is behind me, they walk up and they go, "Hi, Paul," and they push me out of the way and look, "Oh, is that the original car?" How much time do we have?
Oh, we got
20 minutes.
Well, actually, it's we got 33 minutes.
33 minutes. So what are we going to talk about?
Well,
Why don't you... Oh, no. Don't tell that joke you told me outside.
Well, let's talk about Hot Rods Across America. A lot of people don't know about that.
Hot Rods Across America Parts 1 and 2.
We did 1 and 2, but we did 3, and hopefully at some point we're going to release that.
That's not available.
But it'll be a good one because Manny's in it.
And it won an award.
Won an award.
Is this on there? Yeah.
Part 2.
Part 2 won an award. Michael Hawkins, executive producer.
That was a nice award.
That's the Indie Film Fest.
That's the same company makes Emmy and Oscar. We got that presentation, so we're really
Shouldn't
proud
be
of
touching. That man is naked. What am I touching him for?
You got one just like that.
No,
Yeah, I was wondering where you're going to hold him.
I wasn't thinking. Well, anyway, yeah, we made this documentary about the car, and Rick, who owns it, and I talk about the movie in it, and Michael filmed some of it, Rick filmed some of it. I held a camera. You'll see some shaky camera work, and we filmed. Oh man, how many cars, hot rods do you think?
Oh man, there's a lot of them in there.
Because when we went across the country, all these car shows, Southwest and San Antonio, and that's where the Alamo.
Oh, you guys are
is.
everywhere on the
And
road.
up north Chicago and Midwest and Ohio and Pennsylvania and Connecticut, New York. We filmed all the cars, not all of them. We filmed a lot of the cars because I know car people like to see cars. They sit out there, they get a chair like this, and they sit there on the side of the road and watch the cars go by. It's like, like watching a beauty pageant for them.
Well, I mean, it's got a little of everything. It even has music in it.
Yes, good music. Danny Dean, and what
He's really good.
Heartbreakers or something, and yeah, we got lucky with that.
Oh, he was
some good rock
really,
and roll music.
Yeah, really good music. And then Bob.
Oh yeah, Bob. You'll see him in the DVD. He's my road manager, so to speak, and he sets up these car shows for us and keeps it all together. And God bless him, because I need a lot of help at the tables. And some of the people may have already met him at these car shows.
So you got Rick and Bob and Paul, and sometimes I'm in there.
Sometimes you're in there, and that's the car and
The coupe, yeah, the coupe, and
customers and
a couple
fans.
drunk women I remember were in there.
Were they?
Yeah, one of them.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And they were trying to buy some pictures from you, I remember. But it was fun.
And
It was
one
fun.
woman that I signed her chest.
Yeah, well, right here. It looked like you were signing her whole
Well,
chest.
I kept writing. I kept thinking, what more can I put on here?
Yeah. You were going to go for a book,
So
right?
I wrote. I wrote the first paragraph of my book. No, not really.
Actually, just in case you get the film, Paul actually was signing up here and not down below. It does
Right.
look like you're signing a little lower, but oh well. But life is good, and you met so many people. You've been all over the world.
That's right. So
Did
they
it-
can get these DVDs if they want, and those are cheap too, right?
Yes. Very.
I'm surprised they haven't been selling. They haven't been selling as much as I thought they would. American Graffiti people love the movie and they love the time period, and it's like they want to be alive inside the movie, and that's why they seem to care so much about, and do care so much about, me and Cindy and Bo Hopkins and Candy Clark, who was in the movie. But when I tell them about the DVD, they're a little disappointed that it's not the movie, that it's now,
Right.
in this century. And I tell them, no, there's cars in it, the coupe is in it, and some of them will buy 'em.
Music, everything, yes, it's
But
all there.
people really want to see, they love that feeling that the movie produced in them, and produces, it touches people's hearts, and it's fun, and they remember the good old days. Or young people watch it just because they say to me they wish that things were that way now, and I hope they...
I miss the good old days, I'll tell you. Well, now, you still cruise or not?
Well, I have a Mustang, but it's a newer Mustang. And then I cruise around, but there's very few places where you can just go and cruise like people used to.
Right.
There's not many drive-ins to go to. There's I mean, drive-in theaters, let alone drive-ins where there's a car hop on roller.
Oh,
Street.
nowadays it's Fast and Furious. And, you know,
Yeah,
it's kind of-
and so you can go to some place. If you there's still some coffee shops, and they're sort of like.
yeah, there's Mel's
style.
Drive-In still around.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't beat Mel's.
Yeah, Steve Weiss, I guess, is the guy that owns it. He's the son of the owner. Are we out of time? No.
No, we're not out of time.
He has Mel's Drive-Ins all around California, and I don't know how many there are in the rest of the country, and they're fun. They've got good food in there.
Oh, we went to Mel's Drive-In in Hollywood. Boy,
Yeah.
that was fun. I mean, that food was
great.
delicious.
Yeah, and Gino Havens was there that one time we went. He worked on American Graffiti. He helped cast the movie with Fred Roos, and he helped us with our dialogue. Like I said, we were all kind of just starting out, and we needed someone to run lines with us, meaning you have to learn the lines, and then if you want to ad-lib, you can do that after you've learned the lines. It's the best way to go rather than try to wing it like we're doing here on this show. And so Gino was there, and it was kind of a homecoming for some of us. We invited Ron Howard, but he didn't
Yeah, I remember. I mean, there was even an actress that came who wanted to submit her resume to Ron Howard, and he didn't show.
I wasn't there. Well, someday, because we did get all the cast together and George Lucas in 2000 for a picture for Vanity Fair, and that was fun. It seemed like old times then. And I'm just wondering, most of the movies that I've made, people ask me about that. I've done other movies. I said, yeah, I've done other movies. They just haven't been as popular as this one. And I don't think this movie, people just keep watching it. Like you liked this movie so much before I knew you.
I never get tired
You built
of it.
a car.
Yeah, I built a car. I mean,
that's really.
You want a car that you can't really afford, then you're going to have to build it yourself. That was my whole concept.
Is that it?
And that was my choice of cars. Yeah, I always loved that car. I've loved that car.
And your wife didn't get angry?
No, I didn't get married.
Oh, that's good. He's got a good marriage. I had a good marriage too. We sort of drifted apart though.
So now the car's in Japan, and I sold it.
Oh, your car is in Japan?
My car is in Japan. It went like
They love
that.
American Graffiti
They
over
love
there.
American Graffiti over there.
Those are beautiful fans. The people from that country that come here and come up to the table, and I mean, they just love the movie.
The coupe was just over there. What, a couple months ago?
Oh, the original was over there
in Japan, right? With
but somebody from
Candy Clark.
I'm happy that your car, you sold it, and it's in Japan, and I've got to go over there. The Japanese people are so nice.
They're nice,
and
yes, wonderful people.
The women are friendly.
Nice too, yes.
They're very
humbled and
humble and
good hosts.
Yeah, they're classy. They're dignified. They're
right.
I can't think of.
Oh, that's actually very good.
Yeah.
Because I think that says a lot.
And not like the people like me in the valley.
You're humbled.
I'm humble, but I will.
There's a tough side of you,
I will
too.
speak my mind once.
Oh,
in a
you
while.
do.
What? What? It says well done. Hey, waitress, get over here. And she says, I wrote it down, sir. It's the cook. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll leave you a big tip. That happens sometimes. People, in case this is a little advice from Paul Lamette. If you're in a restaurant and you order something a special way, like I don't like pickles, so I say no pickles. And if they bring it, you can't automatically blame the waitress or the waiter.
That's right.
Because it'll turn out that they wrote it down, but in the rush behind the window there, the chefs, the cooks, they're rushed. And if I was doing that job, I would really mess stuff up. It's their mistake, not the waitress.
You were in a film, one of Jonathan Demme's films.
Two of his films.
Two of his films.
Yeah.
And they were called?
Citizens Band, also known as Handle with Care. If you go on IMDb, it's Handle with Care. And then Melvin and Howard, where I played Melvin Dumar. And Jason Robards, the great actor, played Howard Hughes. And if you want to, it's worth it to see that movie just to see him play Howard Hughes, a cranky old guy. I pick him up in the desert, and he's injured and he doesn't want to see a doctor, and I make him sing a song and stuff. But he doesn't have a lot to do in the movie. He's in the beginning and some scenes there, and in the end, big scenes.
And you're driving an old truck.
Yeah, truck. And the movie is basically about Melvin and his trials and tribulations, and his wife, Mary Steenburgen, played the wife, and she won an Oscar, the Academy Award, for her performance, for portrayal. And it's mostly about Melvin's life, and then the will, Howard Hughes' will comes out, and the police think he forged it because in Howard Hughes' will is Melvin Dumar's name. Spelled incorrectly, by the way. We saw the original will in Las Vegas when we shot some courtroom scenes. But Melvin Dumar said, I didn't forge this will. And they thought he did, but he told the story. He said, well, he probably put me in his will because I saved his life, because he picked him up in the desert and he was bleeding. And that makes sense to me. Howard Hughes was kind of different, weird. So he might just do that. Okay, here's money for my ex-wife, money for this person, money for some corporation, a church, and university he went to, Rice University in Texas. He had a lot of beneficiaries, but one of them was Melvin Dumar. And the reason I say his name was misspelled, that's significant, because Melvin, he didn't see his name. Howard didn't see his name. Melvin told him his name.
Mm-hmm. That's very interesting.
In the car, yes. Melvin Dumar. So Howard Hughes was, theoretically, if the will is legitimate and authentic, he was going by how his name sounded. Mm-hmm. And if you're a forger, that's pretty clever.
That is clever.
And I'll take it one step further before we run out of time. If you're a forger, you wouldn't take a chance on misspelling that name, because what if the court said that's not you?
Right.
It's spelled differently. You're the forger. You would lose everything, right?
Everything.
So you wouldn't be stupid enough to misspell it. You misspell it, they might
forget
be
it.
some technicality, right?
Absolutely.
So only, I think, if it's real, would the last name be misspelled.
Now, when you were in that film, like American Graffiti, you had, I think, wasn't it Haskell Wexler was filming with George Lucas, right?
Yeah, American Graffiti.
And so what they did is they had these little mounts on the side of the coupe.
Yeah.
And they would actually film through the
windows.
Windows, right?
Yeah, they had cameras on both sides, and I'd have to drive that way sometimes with little platforms. And in the original car, you can see underneath. People come up and try to look and see it. There's still the frames, the mounts,
yeah.
Right, in the front too, and some holes where they put big lights up in front of the car, mounted them on the front, and put these platforms in there and put camera on. Sometimes people would be on the platform with the camera, operating the camera, and the sound guy would be in the trunk, and the lights would be in my face, and then they go, "Okay, Paul, action! Don't hit anything." And I have to drive down the street like, oh my God. And we were on real locations in San Rafael and Petaluma in Marin County, above San Francisco. And there wasn't that much room on the streets, and I was worried. What if I scrape? I get all this extra footage out of part of the car now.
With all these people on the car.
If I hit a parked car or something, or scrape, but Mackenzie Phillips helped me in my scenes, a lot of the scenes in the car, because she was so funny and humorous and a comedian. And I'm kind of serious, or at least I was approaching it in a serious way, playing a kind of tough guy who was a little grumpy about his life. And she livened up the scenes.
She did.
Yeah.
What I was getting at is, when you did Melvin and Howard and you were driving the truck, were you on a trailer? Were you actually driving it, or how did they film that?
Mostly the scenes, in that case, between Jason and I, we were towed.
Oh, okay.
They didn't mount cameras. I remember that some of it was at night, and it wasn't like American Graffiti where they mounted some cameras.
Did they have the cameras on the back of the truck?
Yeah. I'm sorry. They put the camera on the back of the trunk. It's head of you. They have a sound guy and the director is sitting there with his headphones on, scrutinizing everything you do. And Jonathan Demme's a great director, and he's a perfectionist. And I hope to work with him again too someday.
Deborah Winger. Now
I worked with her, and I worked with a lot of people.
The name of the film with Deborah Winger was
Big Bad Love.
Big Bad Love. Great film.
Thank you. It's kind of a confusing film to me. It's very literary, and I got to watch it. I had to watch it twice. After I did it, I read the script, I played the part, and then I had to watch the movie twice to figure out what the heck was going on here.
Some great scenes in that film.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been lucky to work with some really good people and over the years, and some great actresses. And Victoria Principal, I did a TV movie with her, and Susan Day, and I worked with Burt Lancaster once, and you know, a bunch of people. Harrison Ford once, and you know, maybe again. I've had a great career. I'm not ready to retire completely yet. And if you get enough financing, anybody out there with $3 million, where's the camera? If you got $3 million, you want to invest in him, he can make a movie. I'll
That's
start.
right.
it.
We'll make a great film. By the way, besides Deborah Winger, it made me think about another film. A lot of people don't know this, but you were actually in the Twilight Zone. You did
The series.
A series.
They had a
Right.
new Twilight Zone. I did an episode of that in Canada, and I did the series for The Lonesome Dove,
Right.
which was a classic miniseries. With
I saw that. That was very good.
Tommy Lee Jones and Robert Duvall and
Right.
Angelica Houston and you know, a bunch of people. But we did a series for 2 years in Canada, and I did The Hitchhiker. That was a series from Canada. I've done some television shows. I prefer to do films, and I did The Puppet Master,
That's a very popular
the first
film.
one, yeah. And
They still play that
Strange
on-
Invaders.
Strange
Nancy
Invaders.
Allen, that's another cool actress.
That's another.
that I
Right.
worked with in Strange Invaders. And see what else I did. Some.
Play Misty for me.
No, I wasn't in that.
That's right. You weren't in that film.
I was that guy that make my day. Do you feel lucky, punk? Well, no, do you feel lucky, punk? Make my day.
Good old Clint.
And yeah, that was that guy.
Yeah, he's a great director and producer.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Great talent. We're lucky to have him in Hollywood. We need more and more talented people, not just people that are the producers that can select projects and cast movies. We need the creative artists to work while the movie's being made and afterwards editing it, like you.
Mhm.
He's a good editor too. He edited, with my advice of course, but the Hot Rods Across America DVD.
He was there with me.
Yeah, drinking coffee. Now, I'm talking too much. You talk
We drank-
about
we drank a
something-
lot of coffee
What's on
at
your
that
list
time.
there? Talk
Well-
about something else.
You guys want to go to Australia too, though? At some
I
point, right?
wish. I wish.
Yeah. I mean, there was some talk about it some time ago. But
They have car shows down there. Australians love, some of them love
they
American
do. They
cars,
love
American
the
cars.
film. All the films.
And New Zealand too.
New Zealand.
Speaking
yes.
of New Zealand, have you seen this movie about the motorcycle with Anthony Hopkins called The World's Fastest Indian?
You brought that up with me before, I recall.
I highly recommend it.
Yes, I
The
haven't
world-
seen it yet.
It's not about Indians, which, you know, that's fine too, but it's about an Indian is a motorcycle, an old motorcycle. And Anthony Hopkins plays this guy from New Zealand who built this motorcycle himself in his own garage, like Michael built his car, and takes it to the Bonneville Salt Flats and tries to set a world record with it.